It's been centuries since the Great Wall was breached. For generations, its sturdiness has kept safe the entire kingdom. But tonight, the wall will fall and the icy breath of death will crawl south across the land. Before we begin, thank you for joining us for the final chapter of this mini-series inspired by the Maiden and the Dragon. Without further ado, let's get into it. Our story begins on the longest, darkest night of the year. High atop the northern wall, soldiers clutch their weapons and shiver in the freezing temperatures. Captain Norin grits his teeth against the biting wind. His cloak billows behind him as he paces along the top of the wall. He pauses, fixing his gaze on the swirling blizzard below. Eyes sharp. "Men," he calls over the wind. The silence means they're watching. A soldier nervously adjusts his helmet. "How much longer, Captain? It's a death trap up here. If we don't retreat soon." Norin cuts him off with a sharp look. "We do not retreat. Retreat is for cowards. We hold the line until sunrise or we die trying. Do you hear me?" But the wall is crumbling. Another soldier cries out. Large cracks snake across its surface, lit by flashes of sickly green lightning. Norin slams the flat of his sword against the wall. If the cowards beyond these stones think they can break the wall, they have another thing coming. They will pay dearly for every inch of ground they take. Suddenly, the frigid air is pierced by a deep horn sound. The men tense, their weapons raised. Then from the swirling snow, a horrible sight emerges. Enormous ships claw their way over the broken stones, their frozen breath hanging in the freezing air. Their eyes glow with an eerie blue light. At their head, an ice giant towers above the others, his frost-covered muscles rippling as he heaves himself over the wall. The creature lands heavily on the other side, sending rocks tumbling down the slope. "By the gods," a soldier breathes. "They're here." More ice giants join their comrade, along with countless otherworldly warriors, each one more terrifying than the last. With inhuman shrieks, they charge. In a flash, steel clashes with frozen claws, and battle rages along the top of the wall. Men fall, crushed beneath the weight of the charging monsters. The enormous ice giant swings his warhammer, sending rocks and dirt flying. A small group of soldiers staggers away from the onslaught, barely escaping the giant's crushing grip. Norin fights like a man possessed, his blade carving arcs of silver in the air. But the creatures seem tireless. As more reinforcements arrive on the other side of the wall, Norin knows they won't be able to hold out much longer. Desperation tightens his jaw. "Hold the line," he roars, though even his voice shakes with fear. "For the kingdom." But the wall is old and the assault relentless. Soon, large chunks of it begin to crumble and fall. The ice giants surge forward, driving the remaining soldiers back. Norin falls to his knees as the horde overtakes him, the sight of the collapsing wall reflected in his wide eyes. The last thing he sees before the darkness claims him is the ice giant raising his hammer high. "The wall is ours," the creature bellows, shaking the earth with his laughter. Below the wall, the ground trembles and the horde pours through the newly created breach. Captain Norin lies among the rubble, his chest heaving, bruised and bloodied. He struggles to his feet and flees south, racing toward the nearest garrison. Thousands of blue eyes gleam in the swirling snow behind him. The creatures laugh and roar, shaking the very foundations of the kingdom. As the sun rises over the horizon, painting the snow-covered landscape with hues of pink and orange, a lone figure rides toward the castle. King Darkos, Lord of Dawn and King of Ash, his face grim, spurs his horse into a gallop. His queen, Lydia, follows close behind, her own dark eyes troubled. The two enter the throne room and stride toward the anxious guards. "What news?" the king demands. One guard steps forward, gasping for breath. "My king, the wall is breaking. The north has fallen." Darkus's grip tightens on his reins. His lips are pressed into a thin line as he stares at the churning snowstorm depicted on the wall tapestry. Though the winds of war have been stirring for weeks, this news throws the king off balance. He looks over at his wife. Her face is pale, but her chin is lifted defiantly. She turns to face the assembled lords and ladies of the court. Her voice rings with power as she addresses them. As long as we stand together, she says, we are strong. Without unity, we are already dead. The lords murmur in agreement, their faces etched with worry. Send ravens to every house, Queen Lydia commands, and tell them to bring every able-bodied man to the capital at once. War has come to our shores. The guests exchange uneasy glances as they hurry to obey. King Darkos watches them go, his expression troubled. All the years of peace have left his people unprepared for war. But who could have predicted such a devastating attack from the north? Even as the raven takes flight, carrying word of the invasion to every corner of the kingdom, a cloaked figure arrives at the castle gates. Prince Raven, the king's youngest son, leans casually against a pillar, his hood pulled low. One of the guards approaches cautiously. Prince Raven, what brings you here? The king has forbidden you from entering the city. Oh, has he now? Raven asks with a shrug. How very dare he? The guard opens his mouth to retort, then hesitates. Very well, you may pass, but no one will be told you were here should things go awry. Thank you so much, Raven replies smoothly. He steps through the gate and disappears inside. Meanwhile, in a hidden cellar beneath the bustling market city, the rebel leader stirs his followers to action. Dim candlelight flickers around them, casting long shadows on the grimy stone walls. A map of the city is spread out before them, marked with symbols and sigils. The crown weakens, the leader announces, his voice low but steady. This is our moment to strike and claim the city. Myra slams her hand on the table, making the candles flicker wildly. Are you blind? Monsters are pouring through the wall. Fight the crown, and you doom us all. A young man named Timo lays a calming hand on her arm. She's right, he tells the leader. We must unite if we want any hope of survival. Myra nods, her earlier anger fading. She reaches out to take a glowing scroll from Timo. Its words shimmer before her eyes. The air of flame will rise against the ice. She frowns, looking up at the leader. Who is the heir of flame? The leader shakes his head. I don't know, he admits, but we must find out. Before the ice consumes us all, the fate of the kingdom hangs in the balance as Raven seeks the mysterious heir of flame while King Darkos prepares to defend his realm. The stage is set for an epic battle between ice and fire, but who will claim the burning crown? Now the wall is broken, and the icy dead march south. Can anyone stop them? Where will Mira find the heir of flame? And what role will Raven play in the coming war? Only time will tell. What did you think of this episode? Let us know in the comments below. Now we've reached the end of this mini-series. But don't forget that our animated series based on the Maiden and the Dragon is still ongoing. Join us every Monday and Wednesday at AM Arizona time for new episodes. Until then, stay safe and stay tuned.